Hi everyone, it's Let's Do Bonsai. I'm Scott Winard, and today we're going to be looking at Planter's Choice, the bonsai tree kit from Planter's Choice. In this kit we get 4 biodegradable pots, 4 soil discs, 4 seed vials, 4 bamboo plant markers, 1 bonsai trimmer and a complete growing guide. So if we open up this box, you can have a look, see what we've got inside. Wow, 4 large pots and the soil discs are inside. Someone's hair. We have 4 seed vials with clearly marked on it, each individual one, what the seeds are. So we'll just drop them out and see what we've got. So we have Delonix Regia, we have Jacaranda Mimosa, Folia, which we've actually got some seedlings of those growing outside. Pichia abis, and we have Pinus alastata. I'm sure this is going to tell us exactly what they are. So also in the box we have yet another set of leaf cutters, so we're going to have lots of these at the end of these boxes. And then we have some really nice wooden stakes saying what they are, even with a little part for you to write the date on. So Pinus aristata is the Rocky Mountain Bristlecone Pine, which is that one. Pichia abis is a Norway Spruce, so that's going to be a first for me if they come up. A Delonix Regia, which is a flame tree, and then a Jacaranda Mimosa, which is a black Poui, and that is those ones. So they've protected the growing guide in this bag, although it is ripped open on the side, so I hope we don't need to use that again. So inside the instruction guide it tells us once again the equipment that we've got. So 4 biodegradable peat pots, which are these large pots there, 4 expanding soil discs, which are inside, 4 seed vials, which we have, 4 bamboo plant markers, which we have, and then the pruning shears, which we're probably not going to need for a while. So welcome to the world of bonsai. If you're seeking to combine nature, history and art, then bonsai is for you. Planting a bonsai tree from the start and watching the development of your own little tree is a slow yet ever rewarding process. So get your seeds out along with some time and patience. Thank you for choosing Planter's Choice. We wish you the most pleasurable experience as you embark on this fun and enjoyable journey. Disclaimer. Planting a tree is a delicate process and multiple factors can affect the outcome. Planter's Choice does not assume responsibility and disclaims liability from any non-germinating seeds arising from improper use of this product or as a result of factors that are beyond the company's control. So pre-sowing instructions, soaking the seeds. A day before sowing the seeds, soak the seeds in warm water, bath temperature, for 24 to 36 hours. The seeds will swell and absorb the water, which will increase the chances of germination. Even if the water will cool quickly, there is no need to replace it. After the soaking period, the best seeds to use are those that are not floating. So we'll get these in some water and we will revisit this set in the next 24 to 36 hours. 24 hours have elapsed and we're back with the Planter's Choice bonsai kit. And if I can get back into it, we can carry on from where we were. So we have the pots, we have our identity sticks, which one of them is over here, and the instructions. So recapping back to where we were, a day before sowing the seeds we will need to soak them for 24 to 36 hours. That has now taken place. Okay, so we need to expand the disc. The soil discs included with your kit in here expand to several times their original size when soaked in hot water. Hot water works best apparently. And then we have a pot for each of those. Pot for each of those. So place one disc in a large bowl, heat 1 to 2 quarts of water approximately to 120 degrees Fahrenheit, pour half a cup of the hot water directly onto the top of the disc. This will soften the disc. Keep pouring small amounts of water to the bowl, not directly onto the disc, and watch the soil expand. Repeat this process until the soil disc expands to 6 to 8 times its size. This should take 5 to 10 minutes. Bet you're glad about that. I'll get something to put them in and we'll get the hot water. So we've got some warm water here. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to take up too much of your guys' time through this one. We've seen this before. I'll let this soak. We'll get it swollen up. Then we'll come back. We'll transfer the soil into the pots and I'll do all 4 of them and get it ready for you guys to see the sowing of the seeds, etc. Okay, so I've obviously placed a little bit too much water inside this jug for this soil, so I'm going to try and rescue the situation by lifting the soil out and placing it into this bowl, and then just try and scoop out the rest of it. It is still dry on the inside, so I will add some water into there and just mix it up and allow the water to soak into the dry parts of that soil. There's no great way of doing this, I don't think. With the little ones that were in the webbing in some of the packs, you get a way of squeezing the water out, but you end up with these little biscuits of hard soil, and the only thing you can try and do is pour the water directly onto it in your hand and try and let the water soak in, which it does ever so slightly, and just keep breaking the soil down. So I'll do this for all 4 discs, get them transferred into these pots, and once I've done that, we'll come back and proceed with the sowing of the seeds. Okay, so I may have underestimated the what it takes to get these soil discs all brought in, you know, all the water to absorb. I ended up bringing out more bowls. They're still absorbing the water, but we are almost there. The first one took a good period of time, and I thought, you know, we might get through the next 3 in a better time, but it was taking that long. I got 3 bowls. So top tip for this sort of kit is get yourself multiple bowls, 1 per thing, plenty of hot water, 50 degrees Celsius, 120 degrees Fahrenheit, and just pour it in. Keep pouring until it's soaked up all the water. Once it's all falling and breaking apart, you can start mixing it up and just make sure you get all the dry spots, and then bring the damp stuff from the bottom, try and bring that up to the top, and allow that to soak in. So I'm going to transfer this into the 4 pots now. I'll clear the pots away so that they're not in our way, and we'll begin sowing the seeds. So the instructions to make up the pots are pretty much the same through the whole kit, but the sowing of the seeds are slightly different after the seeds have been sown. It tells us germination periods, what to do with each one. So we'll start with the first one in the book, the Pinus aristata, which is our little marker here, and it says, sowing the seeds, carefully take about 3 to 5 pre-soaked seeds and sprinkle them evenly across the pot. Be advised, excessive amounts of seeds in one pot may interfere in proper germination and tree growth. Keep the leftover seeds in the vial and store in your fridge or freezer. Well, they've all been soaking because we hadn't read that bit, but to be fair, we've only got 5 seeds anyway, so we're not going to affect anything. So we'll just fish the seeds out. We'll choose this pot first, and I think what we'll do is we'll get our chopstick, create a little hole and drop that seed into the middle, and then do the same with the other 5. So I'll create a hole, drop it in, create a hole opposite, drop it in, one to the side, drop it in there, and then the last one drop it in, and we'll just lightly firm up the top of the soil, and that's that one completed. So we'll just put the date sown, which is 8/10/19, and we'll put our little marker in place. For the Jacaranda Mimosa Folia, it says, sowing the seeds carefully, take about 8 to 12 pre-soaked seeds and sprinkle them evenly across the pot. Excessive seeds can cause a problem, as the previous one. Keep the leftovers in a vial in a fridge or freezer, but I think pretty much, if I can find them, they're here. There was only round about 8 anyway, so I'll just pour some of the water out, trying to make sure not to lose any of the seeds, and then we won't be fishing for them. and I will use this scruffy top soil for this, and I'm just going to allow them to fall into the scruff of the soil in a few areas. Just keep dropping them in. That's it, and we'll just rough the top of the soil up so that the seeds just go to the underneath. Careful not to damage the seeds, but just enough roughing to get them underneath the soil. And if we get our Jacaranda marker, we can put our date on, which is 8/10/19. Put it to the edge of the pot, so hopefully it's away from any of the seeds. Our next one is the Picea abyss, which is the Norway Spruce, and those seeds are here. These are nice chunky seeds, not very delicate, and it says sow 4 to 5 of them, and again we only got 5, so the instructions are telling us to save the seeds, but there's no seeds to save because they've only given us what they're instructing us to use. So we'll do the same as we did for the first ones. We'll create some little holes, drop the seeds in at nice intervals. Drop. Cover them up with the soil. Last one at the front. Drop that in. There it goes. So just rough it up a little bit just to make sure that they are covered. And they are. And if we get our Picea abyss stake, put today's date on, 8/10/19. Put that over to one side where we know we haven't got any seeds, and that's that. And then our last pot is for the Regia, Delonix Regia. It says carefully take about 3 to 4 pre-soaked seeds, and once again, as you can see, we have 4 seeds. So they've given us exactly what we need, but then told us to be careful and save any leftover seeds. It's a little bit daft really, but we'll get these put in. They're a bit bigger, so we'll carefully bob them in. That's one. That's two. We'll put these in a different pattern. That's 3, and just to be different, the one over here I'm going to lay flat because we've put all the others in a straight up and down effort. So lay that one flat just in case that causes any differences. So that's those in place. We'll get our stake. So this is the Delonix Regia, the flame tree, 8/10/19. Place our stake right to the edge, and there we go. So it tells us that it's going to take 3 to 5 weeks to germinate, but it can take longer. It says the same for the pine, 4 to 6 weeks to start germinating, but it can take longer. It doesn't tell us to do anything special. It just tells us to sow them and wait for them to germinate. So the back page says place your pots in a well ventilated area under bright indirect sunlight even before germination for at least 6 to 8 hours a day. So they'll go again in a north facing window. I may put these into some plastic pots if I can get some that suit, just to make sure that they don't break apart. So placement near a window is best. To avoid weak stems, give the pot a quarter turn every day. So we'll be regularly turning them. Room temperature is ideal for germination. Avoid both freezing temperatures and direct sunlight, so they'll be in that north facing window. They won't get any direct sunlight. Maybe just a little bit in the morning, but it won't be hot, especially at this time of year. And it says, remember, these are trees, not flowers. Water regularly to keep the soil moist but not saturated. So again, because we're going to be adding water, this pot may, as you can see already, it has soaked up a lot of moisture. We'll see how it goes, but we might need to put them into some sort of plastic pot just to stop them from breaking up. And then it doesn't say anything other than that, apart from waiting for them to germinate. So these are going to go on that north facing window, and we'll give you regular updates and see how we go on. So once again, I'm Scott Winard for Let's Do Bonsai, and we'll see you again soon.